And the subject of this is was sort of struck a nerve last week when Ulrika mentioned that she liked the close-ups of the sections of her diptych, the abstract geometric abstract she showed last week better than the overall composition. And it struck a nerve because the same thing happened with me a few years ago in this painting on the left. I did, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the overall composition. So a couple of years after I did it, I cut it up because I wanted to experiment in one of Sally's classes with interference paint. So these are I actually made 9 separate small paintings from cutting up the painting on the left. These are 6 of us paint. And I mixed it as sort of a wash, about 10–15% interference paint with mixed with water, and put it on as a glaze or a wash over the acrylic paint. And as you can see on the left, or you might visualize, there's a lot of texture in this painting on the left. So it was perfect for using interference paint, because they're not familiar with it. Gives you a sort of metallic appearance. A see-through metallic appearance. And so I put it on, let it set for about an hour or so, depending upon the weather. And then I used a wet, damp rag, and I rubbed it and real hard. And so the areas, the high areas, it rubbed off, and the low areas, it stayed. And the sides of the high areas also, it tended to stay. It came in.
What is interference paint?
It's comes in a small vial, and I'm only familiar with the kind that's used for acrylic, and it's a metallic base paint.
Is that on canvas or paper that you cut up?
It's canvas. It's
okay.
Canvas, and I should point out, it really makes a difference when you have the texture from canvas. The interference paint works much better, especially on blacks or dark backgrounds like.
Now, what did you end up doing? Did you end up just keeping? I can't tell. Just the torn edge.
No, you can't tell. No, I glued the canvas pieces on thin 1/8 inch particle board, and then I used Velcro, and I fastened that to. It's a cardboard, and it comes. You buy it black. And I think it's a poster board.
It's a small piece made out of avocado wood. And like I explained, I think in previous meetings, what I do is I take pieces of wood that are in the wood pile and kind of separate them out. I used to get this wonderful avocado wood that was all dried from a place locally. And the piece that's standing out, the figure piece, basically is all made out of avocado wood, just burnt, except for the head, which I added and then burnt. And then the orb going up. You can't see it that well in these pictures, but there's like a channel that runs up the front of it. And it just looked like, if I put a ball in there, it kind of looked like it was going through the channel. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I did this several years ago. Not much has changed. I think the world's even gotten worse, and it seems the burning part has gotten definitely worse here in California. So,
That's
nice
a great
piece of wood.
You said it was small. Like how tall?
It's about 15 inches tall, I'd say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
With watching some of you guys do, and Chris particularly, and Phyllis, you and others, using all these squiggly lines that are so free, I thought I'd try one. And looking for inspiration, I found this South African artist called Glenn Josselson. And that's why I've called it Glenn and Me, because I used one of his as sort of a basis, but then used my squiggles and found how hard it was to be free and just let the lines flow. And I ended up sort of painfully trying to make it look free. And but anyway, I'm kind of like the way it turned out. The colors, the
beautiful
voice that went in there.
Very loose and free. Beautiful.
The color palette's really cool too. I really like that.
A bit of that comes from Glenn. It's not exactly the same colors, but it's basically gave me the idea to use the yellow ochre, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's a red something or other.
Per number.
Yeah, burnt umber. There you go.
I don't know Glenn. Where's Glenn from?
He's from Johannesburg.
Let me just say one more thing. What I like about it is the simplicity to it. It's not too busy. It kind of all pulls in, and maybe it's because you got like 4 sides kind of a thing, but it's really nice. I really like it.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Barry,
Yeah.
you were saying how some of the markings are not that easy, and I don't know, probably Phyllis, you've done this, but to make it so it's not so controlled, some people attach whatever you're making the mark with to a long piece of stick and stand back and then move it that way. So you really have uncontrolled markings that way.
Yeah, I used those Prismacolor for this.
I received this at one of the Christmas parties. It was the white elephant gift. And I was looking for stuff to put on our show today, and I found this. And Helen is here. She can tell us all about it.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did do this, and it was pretty cool. I don't know what to say about it. It was done in acrylic, and it's just something that struck my fancy, and I thought, well, it looked like this gal was waiting for her boyfriend to come join her, and in the meantime, she's having a martini. How nice is that? So that's all. That's what I can tell you about it. It was not hard to paint. The bottles were. I think I talked to Jaime about bottles, because when I tried to paint them, it's difficult to paint bottles, Sure. So I thought, well, at least it kind of looks like bottles, or should be.
I adore the bottles. The technique on the bottles is fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really like the composition, Helen. I love the way the overall composition is great.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Colors are great too.
Nice.
Okay, this is Joan. I haven't been able to travel much, and so I'm still looking at my trip to Toronto on the train. And this is, remember that cellist, Leo, the one that I've been doing? Well, I was looking through all my old photos of that trip, and I discovered his cello case sitting over on the side. And I thought, well, since I have nothing better to do during the pandemic, I just thought I'd play with it a little bit. And I've turned it on the side in this small one here, just to look at it as an abstract or a different view. But I kind of just enjoyed overlaying some of these, picking up some of the wire.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Putting it over here, sort of Twilight Zoney.
Yeah.
It has a stained glass look, Joan.
In both, in both views.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah. I sort of like it laying down like that.
I was going to say that. I think I prefer that.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
But I like
vertical.
Was that a metal case? Was that a metal case, Joan?
I believe so. Yeah.
But I like both of them, Joan. I think they both work.
Okay.
Because I was like Barry, I was trying to figure out which one do I like the most. But I think both of them really work, and both of them are very abstract.
Very nice.
If you didn't know there was a cello case, you'd think it was an abstract painting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like the vertical, because those 2 verticals with the case and the black shadow figure in the back, and I think really makes a strong statement.
Yeah.
I think there's
I
more,
like it too.
Yeah.
when you look at the vertical, there's more of a focal point than there is when it's horizontal, to me.
Yes,
Mhm.
I agree. Yes.
Me too.
It's really interesting how that really changes the image, doesn't it?
Yes.
When you look at both of them, I mean, they look like 2 different things, yet you just turned it.
During a time when I was making, I made a series of paintings and sculptures having to do with human trafficking, because my wife is a member of Seroptimus, and they work with human trafficking awareness and so forth, and had a bunch of events. So I kind of had maybe a series of things that seemed to relate to human trafficking. So the idea here is this person is, in a sense, a trafficker and trapped by money and or the lure of money. And
Nice.
Anyway, that's.
How tall is it?
But
How big?
I think it's about 4 feet tall.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a lot of
And
money.
I think I sold it. I think I got a pretty good price for it. I'm thinking maybe they thought these were real $100 bills or something.
Yeah, what a deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
well, it makes a great statement, that's for
It
sure.
does.
It's
Fabulous.
nice, Steve. Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
She wasn't sure she'd be here, so I wrote out all the stuff she told me about this. Found art, and you can read it yourself. The pieces represent people walking on a march. And this shinier double brass piece is the well cared for soldier on horseback who is forcing the march, and the base is on a walnut. I love the way she did the photography with the shadows in the back.
Yes.
Yeah,
So do I. I was going to say that, Joan.
Yeah.
Photography is great.
neat. Very neat.
Yeah.
I never knew Carol to do that sort of thing.
Have
So
you
that-
known her? Have you known her long, Phyllis?
Well, I knew her from years and years ago when I took Sally's class. She was in one of the classes that I took, but gosh, that's been probably almost 10 years ago now.
Oh yeah, I remember her there. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I love it as a sculpture.
I think it's fabulous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know what those objects are?
it kind of looked like I don't know.
I think there's something that I would like, similar to like piano key things that those hooks on, and then I guess the round parts are all on a bar of some sort that rotates, and these things go up and down.
Yeah, I think you're right, Barry. That's
I really like it.
good job on that.
My other experiment and try to do some abstract work, but still come back to see the flowers. It's a plum blossom. It's my favorite flower. They blossom during the winter when I was a child. Usually the flowers color is yellow. So I just think about to match the color.
Do this.
Just the last weekend.
Oh.
Wow.
This morning?
Minutes before she.
Love the colors. Very
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
very nice. A lot of depth to it.
It does.
And I like the effect you have up here, the softness of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you scrape into, scratch into the watercolor?
It's acrylic.
Acrylic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
I think acrylic is easier to do abstract than watercolor. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I bet.
still
Yeah.
try to use different color to show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very
Very
nice.
nice, Joy.
Thank
So I started that this weekend, and it's unfinished. And I was hoping I'd get some opinions. I was going to paint the white, like a rainbow abstract type, blending colors. And then I was going to add some dark lines on the bottom of the pieces to give it kind of like a shadow to it. I don't know. Anybody got any suggestions?
I don't know if I would add more color to it. I think it already has quite a bit of color in it. That's just my opinion. I think adding the black, though, to give it some more depth would be great.
Details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Giving
that's
it
what I intend to do in the end,
Yeah.
is to give it a three-dimensional look.
Yeah.
By painting the white background, maybe a very light blue,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and almost like a sky color.
Uh,
Mm.
Pico, one thing that comes to mind to me initially when I see it is, in so many of your abstracts, you use the circular form and you add circles to it. As I look at this, and we're talking about adding color, yes, I think you need a complementary color to it.
Yes.
And what if you created, let's say, a cardboard shape that was irregular, like one of the shapes that you have in it right now, kind of a jigsaw puzzle piece type thing, and you shaped a heavy cardboard into an irregular shape like that, and then dip that cardboard in one or two other complementary colors and just printed over the top of that.
That's an idea.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm in the process of making a print right now.
Okay.
You know, for some reason, that's what grabs me right away, is to take sort of a jigsaw puzzle shape and print over the top and even maybe spatter.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea.
Joan said dig up your old stuff. This is the oldest one I could find. So, and I actually know it's from 1992, so.
I wasn't born then.
Same here, almost, you know, I was a baby. So not much to say about it, just still life.
What media?
Oil.
Great highlights, great highlights.
Yeah, I like that.
I used to wear that hat. I still have it.
Is that your disguise when you went shopping in New York?
How about these goggles? I like the shading.
They go with the hat.
The lenses, yeah.
That was when he was walking incognito in New York.
This was before New York. I was actually in Germany at this time, so.
No, same thing.
What size is it?
I think it could be maybe 24 by 20 or something like that. A little bigger, maybe.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it acrylic?
It's oil.
Oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. I like the you know, the monotone approach with all the great highlights. That's great.
Yeah, well,
Nice. Thanks, Ulrika.
thank you.
Did I see Liz today?
Not yet. I don't see her on there.
It's a beautiful piece.
It reminds me of things that Cindy does.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I saw it. I thought, you know, again, I had known Liz from a long time ago, but only took one class with her. And this piece, I think, is particularly good.
It is.
When you look at the positioning of the fairies, you know, doing yoga, I was really struck by how the movement in this piece. It just really is, I think, very nicely done.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the concept.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
it is. It's
I'm never going to look at the lily pond the same again.
Or yoga.
Yeah, I like the way. I love the way the colors all blend together and work together.
And you notice on the lily and the fairy to the right, where the what do you call it? The pistil in the flower is pointing upward, and so is the figure to the right of it. I think that's quite interesting.
All of them, three of them. Yeah.
My favorites because it's so simple. It's so simple, and then it's pulled together with all these lines. There, it's one of my favorites, Phyllis.
Well, I drafted this because I probably would not have submitted it. It actually was during that period of time I was doing my figures, because I never used to like to do figures, and I'm not sure I do yet, but and nonetheless, it was one of my series of about 12 that I did or so. And it's actually an overpainting on another painting. So in the background are a lot of papers and a lot of scraping through with texture. And then, you know, the rest of it is painted acrylic and you know, the line work, which again was fairly new to me. But it's a piece that a lot of people like, and I like it. And it's called Entourage.
Okay.
And I think, as I recall, it's about a 24 by 36, because I know I submitted it to Jazzercise, so it has to be, and it's one of the few paintings that I do horizontally. Almost always my work is vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm fascinated by the black lines on the head, or on and around the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really gives it, I don't want to say the word attitude, but makes you feel how the person is standing and what they're thinking, I think.
And it's not overdone. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, here again, that stems from the fact that I don't like to draw, and particularly people. And when it comes to realism, that's virtually non-existent for me. So it was an easy way for me to depict heads or faces without having to really do that.
Yeah, and the figure on the right, the shoulders and the arm stand out.
Well, that's why
the whole posture.
That's why I called it Entourage, because it to me, she's the celebrity, and the entourage is following her.